Always. I know. Here it is. Or, oh, my hair is kind of damp this morning. What have I done? I took a shower. Is that, should I stop taking showers? I don't know. I don't know that that's what we want to do, right? All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever this live stream might find you. For those of you who might be new to the channel, my name is Jose Luis. I run this thing called Parametric Camp. It's basically a YouTube channel where we go live, we do these live streams in the beautiful company of parametric campers who join, people from the community, and then we nerd out doing and trying things that relate to the general world of computational design, which, depending on how you define it, it's basically being creative, being designer, making art, making designs, making 3D models, whatever that is, using computational tools. In this channel, that typically means code, some form of code, some form of algorithms, either in writing computer programming languages or using visual programming tools. Anyway, let's not get into that's a huge can of worms to define computational design. Long story short, we make those live streams, then we record some tutorials, then we edit them and we post them as slightly more polished videos, and we do that mostly every Friday morning around this time. Now, today might be a slightly different time for you. We typically do it at 9 a.m., but I am at 9 a.m. Boston time, which is where I live. But we just changed to daylight saving, so we might be off. I'm typically 6 hours away from Central Europe, which I remember because that's where my family lives. and but now we might be 1 hour less away from wherever you are. Anyway, so if you want to learn more, we have social media, Instagram. We're very active on Discord. There's a link to the Discord on the description of this video. And we also have a Google Calendar that you can subscribe to see notifications of when do we go live. Okay? That's the boilerplate. Right. So how are we? Who's on the chat? Hi, folks. Good to see you. I am going to sip this, but I think I'm going to regret it because it's very, very hot. Yes, it is very, very hot. It needs 5 minutes to sit down. So, first of all, happy Pi Day to whoever celebrates those kind of things. If you know me a little, you know that I do not celebrate Pi Day because I think that pi is wrong. And I subscribe to this theory that, or this current, or this philosophy of mathematical constants, to say that the choice of pi was okay in the 18th century, but that if a different value for the constant that relates the circle and its main dimension, which in the case of pi is the diameter, if instead of that the radius would have been chosen, and therefore the value of pi was 6.28 blah 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 instead of 3.14, a lot of things will be simpler and nicer in the world of mathematics and especially geometry, which is what I like a lot. So that's why I subscribe to this other constant called tau, which relates the length of the circle and its radius, becoming the value of 6.283185, etc., etc. All right. Anyway, I said my piece. If you want to learn more, there's literally a website called tauday.com that you can visit and read more about why pi wasn't a great choice, and that why many of us are embracing this other constant called tau, which makes a lot of things much easier. All right. Anyway, so therefore, I typically don't do pi, or maybe even sometimes I don't even do tau-inspired live streams. And today, I'm not going to do it either, because I actually have some work and some videos that I want to record before I move on to other topics. So, but some students of mine have actually asked for a breakdown and a derivation of where polar coordinates come from. And actually, I think that is a very interesting topic, one that could have been a Pi Day sort of live stream. Parametric camp. Do I have anything? Polar coordinates? Do I have something? I don't. Wow, okay. Really? That's surprising. Okay, is there like a search? Yes, polar. Basic arithmetic. I don't have anything on polar coordinates. Wow, that really is an omission. Weird. Okay, well, definitely we should add polar coordinates to the list because they are really important actually. They are pretty important. Wow, what have we done? No sound? I do see sound. Can you hear sound? And then I think the YouTube, Albert, YouTube tells me there is sound. Can you please double check again? Because everything looks good on my end. Okay, you need to turn the headphones on. Beautiful. Okay. Well, okay. Well, polar coordinates will be at some point, folks. Nevertheless, let's go back to business. So what are we doing today? What are we doing today? So let me go back here. We've been working on this playlist. Where is it? Fun with AI. And recently I've made a bunch of videos on how to run an LLM locally, access your local server publicly. Is there a type of how to run a local web UI for your LLMs? So I want to record today a video where we go into network tunneling, but permanent network tunneling with Cloudflare, which is a really interesting technique to do. And then I kind of want to summarize everything into a one video, like a short video, which is, I don't know how I'm going to call it, like deploying a local LLM, deploying a chat, deploying a chat app, creating your own chat app or something like that, running your own chat app. And where I want to basically summarize everything and say, if you want to do this on your computer, first, you need a computer that can handle this. Second, you install Olama. Third, you install Web UI. And fourth, you tunnel the thing externally. And actually, maybe we should reshape this. We should change the order. That sounds about right. Yeah. And yeah. And then basically that video will be somewhere in between these two, and it will have links to how to do it. How to do it step by step. That's what I want to do today. And I actually have to leave kind of early, so we're going to have to do it fast. So let's get busy. How are we going to do this? So what are we going to do? The first video is going to be Cloudflare, okay? And so what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to try to do it right now once. So I'm going to go to Cloudflare and I'm going to log in. And then I have these two routes. I'm going to go to Zero Trust. And then on Zero Trust, I'm going to go to Networks. I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this tunnel. Yes, exactly. And this other tunnel is a tunnel. It's a tunnel that I have for some other work. And And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it right now. So before we do that, I'm actually going to open a terminal and reach cloud. Ah, yeah. Okay. So, oh, I don't have Ubuntu here? Yes. Okay. Okay, which Cloudflare, but this is probably not, I don't have it. Okay, I think I remember I installed it manually. Here, exactly. All right. So what that means is that now I have the daemon here. So, and I should be able to blah, blah, blah. And I should be able to do Cloudflare service uninstall, uninstalling, stopping. All right, so then that means I'm going to create a new tunnel and with Cloudflare, and I'm going to call this test tunnel. I'm going to save the tunnel. I'm going to install and run the connectors, blah, blah, blah. So I would download this, I would run the installer, I would open this, and then I would copy this. Everything that I'm doing right now, I am going to explain. I'm just trying it out, okay? And then this is good. We are working. And then blah, blah, blah. Parametric camp is going to go to some URL that is going to be localhost. And what am I going to do? Oh, I had this little server here that I could run Python M HTTP serve and then the HTTP server, exactly. And then, wait, localhost. Is that what I need? I always forget how to run this thing. So if I now open here and I go to localhost 8, yes, alrighty. So this is working. So then I can stop this. And therefore, actually, wait. This one, yes, the tunnel is good. I'm going to start the tunnel again. And then if I now go to, what was it? What did I do? Test tunnel, configure, test tunnel, public host name. Oh, I need to stop doing this. All right, and it goes to my, okay, so the tunnel is working. All right, so now I'm going to then undo everything. I'm going to delete this thing. I'm going to delete the tunnel. How do I delete the tunnel? I guess I go back to tunnels and I delete the tunnel here. Okay. And then, yep, I go back here, fun with AI. And then here I can stop the service. And then here I'm going to uninstall the service again. And then what I need to do is I need to explain that this can be done in two different ways. You can register a domain or you can transfer a domain. And networks, how did I bring a DNS? I forget how I did this. Domain registration. How did I do it? Cloudflare Manage DNS external domain. What was that? I'm using Cloudflare as register and DNS manager. Sorry, again, sorry for all of this. I am just trying to wrap up and refresh myself how I did this literally last week and where I clicked, which sometimes is not so straightforward. And so, where is networks, DNS's routes, targets, gateways, DNS locations, access. Where did I do this? Gateway. Okay, so I do have this, but this is just a DNS that I am managing. Network DNS, records, DNS documentation for this guy. But this is for parametric camp, which I already, okay. So how do I bring, add a domain? Okay, enter an existing domain. Okay, so for example, what do I own? I have this service. I have this server of, I have this domain registered in Spain, in France actually, that I use. Okay, and for example, grasshopper tutorials.com, select plan, just for free. Continue to activation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, I think I can get all the way to here and then show how on my other end I need to deactivate secure delegation. Yeah, but I don't know that I want to show that publicly. What a day. Okay, so maybe I don't need to show that, really. Okay, so then that's going to be, the video is going to be, I'm going to show you, what I'm going to teach you is how to, the intro is going to be testsite.pcamp.com, .camp. That I'm going to show people how I have this very small project that is just a simple website like this, and that I want to serve that internationally through the cloud. Internationally, that's a really weird term. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type test.parametric.camp, and then it's going to go there and it's going to be served by a tunnel, a permanent tunnel that I have configured in Cloudflare. And then I'm going to show how to do that. First, you go to Cloudflare, and then there's two ways to add a domain. One is transferring from somewhere else, the DNS management. And second, it is just buying the domain and hosting it with Cloudflare. And I'm just going to go real quick over those. And then once we have those, I'm going to show how to download and install the tunnel, how to configure the tunnel, and then how to create a route inside of the tunnel, a subdomain that points to some local service. And before that, I may want to create the local service first. Is there quick local server with npm? HTTP server. So do I have HTTP server? I probably think npm list npm list of global packages. Otherwise, list G. npm install globally HTTP server. All right. And now it's ready. And now if I do HTTP server, so for example, so here. So now if I open a terminal here as an admin, I'm gonna say npm HTTP. Wait, here, there you go. npm HTTP server port. Okay, so HTTP server port. There you go. Localhost 8123. Okay. Is that the best way to call server? App. So I can do HTTP localhost. What? Localhost. Okay. And if I do I have some other port, some other service running? Yeah, I can't find it now. Exactly. And if I do this, then it should be on number 4. It's not. It's on 8080. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm just gonna just do this. This is fine. Okay. All right. So, okay. Do I have everything? No, that's going to remove from Cloudflare. Remove from Cloudflare. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to run a Chrome browser. And I'm going to remove, I'm going to not show this. Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess I have to see them somehow. Anyway, can I do a guest mode? Yeah. Okay, there you go. That's what I want. Okay. I think we're ready to start. And first, excuse me, I'm going to move this here. I'm going to show simple And then I'm gonna open a tiny service over here. And yes, and then I'm gonna run the server in whichever port. And then we're gonna move to Cloudflare. Okay. All right, so let's start that, and then I will record the introduction last, okay? Let's do this. Let's get started. So, like in the previous video, I have a small server, not a server. I have a small project with a very simple index file, one that if I drag into a browser, it literally just has one sentence in plain text, which is hello pcam text. And if you actually open a code editor, and if we drag this, you can see that it's not even HTML, it's literally just plain text. But the point of this is that I want to have some kind of web page that I serve as an example for this work. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we have a local server that is serving this website so that we can connect that little server to the cloud using tunneling, which is the goal of this video. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open a terminal in the same folder as I am, right? And then there are multiple ways of starting a local server. I have other videos for that, but I'm going to do just like a very quick version of that. So depending on whether if you're a Python person, then you can do python.module, and then you can do http.server, and then just state which port you want to start it in. And then if you do that, then basically Python will start a small local server on whichever folder you open that. So now if I go to localhost and then the port that I have just written, you can see that the server is serving this website, okay? And this is important because when we do tunneling, we cannot connect files to the tunnel. We have to connect some service that serves HTTP requests, okay? If you are more of a JavaScript or Node person, there is a global package that you can install by doing npm install http server and install it globally like that. I already have it installed, so you don't need to do that yourself. I don't need to do that myself, but then you can just say http server and then the port that you want to specify. So that's going to be 8123. All right. And then that will start a little server. So now if I refresh this, you can see that this same page has been served through my server. Okay. Beautiful. What that means is that I have a local small server serving my website. So now what we want to do is we want to connect this service to the cloud using a permanent tunnel. Remember in the previous video, we saw how to do development tunnels or just like ad hoc, but I want to create a permanent route so that that address, that URL is managed by me and is permanent, okay? So let me show you how to do that. Is there a winget package for what, Victor? Winget for what? I also never install anything using Winget. I kind of don't like it at all. All right, so what are we going to do? Uh, uh, maybe I should get some kind of sponsored link or something for Cloudflare. I do so much advertising of the products at this point. Anyway, let's get it done. All right, I kind of like this thing. This thing is nice. Maybe we should make a video on how to make one of these things. It's kind of cool. All right. Challenge accepted. Can we inspect this? It's probably like a 3JS canvas or something. Where is this? Assets, Cloudflare. Oh no, it's an SVG. What? It's an animated SVG? That's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. The animated sprites. Nice. All right, challenge accepted. We need to figure out how to make one of these at some point. Okay. All right, so where were we? I'm going to present Cloudflare. I'm going to log into my account, and then I'm going to start explaining that we need to create a domain because we're going to make this route permanent, okay? And then I'm going to show two ways of doing that. I'm going to show two ways of doing that. Transferring from somewhere external to transferring from somewhere external, and then just buying the domain. Okay. Oh, I thought HTTP server was a standalone package. It is a standalone package, but you are installing it through npm. It's a node package. It's an npm package that you can install globally and then you can use anywhere. But it goes through npm as a packet manager, and it basically runs on Node.js. Yeah, that's how I have most of my packages, through npm, really, because it's very nice and very fast and very easy to do. And I'm a JavaScript person. You guys know me at this point. Okay, let's get this going. The provider that we're going to use for this tunneling is called Cloudflare. It's a company that provides networking services. If you have ever done check if you're a human here or whatever, it's probably done through them. It's a really nice company. The products are great. This is not sponsored. I'm not getting any money from saying this, but they have a really good tunneling service, which is what we're going to do. So if you don't have an account, you're going to register for an account, and then you're going to log in. And when you log in, you're going to land in this dashboard, which is going to be empty for you. All right. In order to create a permanent tunnel of the kind something.yourwebsite.com or whatever, you need to have yourwebsite.com linked here in Cloudflare. So there's two ways you can do that. If you already own yourwebsite.com with some other provider, you can still do what I'm going to do without even switching the domain from your provider here. What you can do is you can set Cloudflare to manage the DNS, the domain name service. I'm blanking on, domain name service, I think it is what it is. Anyway, you can use Cloudflare to manage your DNS for the website, for the domain that you have registered somewhere else. Or you can just simplify your life and just buy a domain with Cloudflare, which will cost around $10 a year, and then just have it managed entirely here. So this, I have two examples here. This is a domain that I own with Cloudflare, and this is a domain that I own with someone else and that I manage the DNS here. So if you want to use a domain that you own somewhere else, the way you would do that is you click here, you add a domain, and then I'm going to type here Grasshopper Tutorials, which is a domain that I own somewhere else, right? As an existing domain. I'm going to continue, all right? And then Cloudflare is going to go and look. I'm gonna select free. It's gonna go and look at the DNS that exists already for that domain, and it's gonna figure out who owns it, where is it, and what the DNS records are pointing to. I'm not gonna get into the technicals of what that means, but basically when you type grasshoppertutorials.com, there is a company that receives that requests and is in charge of saying, well, if it's www, go here. If it's an email, go there. If it's the FTP, it's go somewhere else, which is everything that you can see here. And you can see that the domain, the register that I have it under is ovh.net. I don't know if showing this publicly is gonna lead to some hacking. But anyway, what this means is that you can now continue and go to the activation. And the only thing that you need to do that is a little tricky is that they're going to tell you here, Cloudflare is going to tell you that you need to go to the DNS records on the other website, in my case OVH, and you need to substitute their DNS servers, which right now are whatever is here, right? You need to replace them with the new DNS servers that you find here. So what that will mean is you're gonna go to whoever is registering your other domain. In my case, it's OVH, but for you, it could be Namecheap, it could be GoDaddy, it could be any of those people. And from their dashboard, you're going to change the DNS records from whatever they are to this, okay? How to do that? You need to figure it out depending on your domain register. And also, you need to keep in mind that doing that switch takes some time. So it takes about anywhere between a few minutes, half an hour, and it can last all the way to 24 hours, like it was in my case. So that's why I'm not going to do it live here. So I'm just going to go back all the way to the beginning. And then once you have that done and configure, then your domain will show up here as active, okay? Which is what I did for, I'm going to remove this from Cloudflare, which is what I did for parametric.camp. I have registered that somewhere else, but the DNS is managed here in Cloudflare. Otherwise, if you really want your easy life, just buy a domain for $10 a year, okay? Cloudflare is also famous for doing domain registration at cost. So they literally charge you the cheapest it can be based on the actual international agency that does domain registration. So you can go to domain registration, register a domain, and then you search here for whatever you want, blah, 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 whatever. You find it, you swipe your credit card, and then after a little bit of after purchase, it will show up here. So my codecolab.org is a domain that I own and that I purchased here in Cloudflare. All right, beautiful. So this was getting some domain managed or registered by Cloudflare. Once you are here, which it might be instant if you purchase, or it may take 24 hours if you change the DNS from somewhere else to Cloudflare, then it's when you can set up your tunnel. Victor, it doesn't work without a domain. It does work without a domain, but that is only for dev. And we already made the other video previously without the domain. Well, that's a good point. Maybe I should say that in the in the video. So actually, let me say that right now. Oh, real quick, before we go into the tunnel, the actual tunneling, just a reminder, if you actually don't want to do any of this and you don't want to spend money in owning a domain for a permanent tunnel, remember that you can always do a temporary tunnel and that we have already gone through that in the previous video in this series, where you can create a dev tunnel with ngrok or with Cloudflare as well. So if you want to know more about temporary and not permanent URLs for tunnels, you can check the previous video in a card that will pop up in the top corner in this video. All right. So, okay, so let's move on to actually permanent tunnels. Thank you, Victor. All right, so permanent tunnel. So now I go to zero trust and now I set up the tunnel. Okay. All right. Okay, okay. Let me try something before we do that. Cloudflare version. Okay. All right. So let's create a permanent tunnel now. The way you find tunneling options is here in this menu called Zero Trust. I'm not sure why it's called Zero Trust. I don't know if it has to do with like protecting yourself from the dark network or whatever. But here in Zero Trust, under Networks, you have the options for creating tunnels. So as you can see here, I already have a tunnel from some other project that I'm working on. And the idea is that you have to do two things first. First, you have to work on developing, no, that's not the right word. You have to deploy a tunneling solution in a particular machine, and that is only on a per machine basis or per computer basis. And then once you have the tunnel established, then you can create as many subdomain pointers into as many different services into that machine through the same tunnel. So a tunnel and anything that you connect to that tunnel are two different things. So let's start by creating the tunnel itself. If you've never done this and this is empty for you, the way you go about this is you create your tunnel, you select here Cloudflare, and then you first give it a name. So for example, I'm going to call this, I call this this machine that I'm running it, I call it the Beast because when I bought it, I thought it was like gigantic and it was a monster. That was many years ago, but I still use the name. Anyway, so this is the Beast desktop. I'm going to save the tunnel. And again, this is something that is specific to a particular machine or a particular laptop or a particular server, all right? Because I'm running Windows, I would choose Windows 64 bits, and then I already would get a link to a downloadable. So you download the installable, you download it somewhere on your machine, right? And then you run the installer, and what this will do is will create a Cloudflare. It will give you access to the Cloudflare daemon or the agent that in your machine takes care of handling Cloudflare stuff, basically. Once you have that, then you can see that here you have this command line instruction that you need to run that contains this here, this token. This token is the token, your secret token, the one that you will use to establish the connection between your machine and between your between Cloudflare. So I'm going to copy this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a terminal, right? And my terminal is going to be a PowerShell terminal. I just like PowerShell better, all right? I'm going to make this, and if you just install this for the first time, a good way to know if Cloudflare's installed successfully is just to type Cloudflared with a D at the end / version. And if you get something like this, if you get a positive response, it means that Cloudflare is available and exists in your system. Make sure to open a new terminal after you install Cloudflare so that Cloudflare becomes available. All right? Beautiful. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that command that I got from Cloudflare. And by doing that, what this does is that it now has connected with this secret token that I need to redo because I'm doing this publicly. With this secret token, this machine is now connected to Cloudflare, the cloud service. All right. So now we are connected. I'm going to click next. All right. And before going into this, I'm just going to go back to tunnels and make sure that this is working. So what you should see now is some kind of line that says the name of the tunnel you created, some secret tunnels, and then it should say that it's healthy. It should say that it can see your service locally, all right? If this is going well for you, then now you can go to configure, and then in configure, you can go to public host name and start adding those routes that I was talking about. So I'm going to add a public host name, and for this one, I'm gonna call it test, all right? Here, I'm going to go and choose whichever domain I have already registered with Cloudflare. I'm going to choose parametric.camp. You could choose paths. We're going to do root here. And then what I need to do is I need to connect this to some kind of local service. I want to remind you that we are running a local service here on localhost 3123. So this is what I need to input here. I'm going to choose HTTP, and then I'm going to write localhost 8123. I'm going to save this host name right here. And you can see that now I have piped test.parametriccamp to the local service in my machine that is running on port 8123. What that means is that I should be able with any browser to now go to test.parametric.camp. And if I do this, boom, did you see that? Did you see that this request got piped from Cloudflare into this local machine, and then my local machine served this website? And what I want to highlight is that even if I'm doing this from my machine that actually has the local service running in it, the request went all the way through the Cloudflare servers and back to my machine. So if any of you are watching this video live as I am recording it right now, you can probably type on your own browser test.parametric.camp and it will show up here. We will see like some kind of action, like something being served. Okay. So what this means is that you have literally just opened now, and I see someone from from the live stream probably just did this on their end. Okay. So what this means is that now this subdomain and this domain will always be serving this server so long as I have the service running. If I stop this, then the request is going to land nowhere. Okay. So that is how you create a permanent route. Maybe I should have written here hello tunnels or something. I don't know. But yes, so this is how you would create that kind of permanent tunnel. All right. Why is this interesting? Well, it's interesting because now you can access any kind of local service that you might be running on your machine from anywhere in the world with a very simple, very straightforward URL that you manage, right? And then that means opening up any kind of services to the entire internet, your clients, your collaborators, whatever, whatever. And in the context of this series, in this playlist, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to try this out connecting a open web UI application that is going to be running a local LLM, so that we're going to create chat.parametric.camp and we're going to access a ChatGPT like interface with a local LLM running on my machine. If you want to learn more about how to do that, there will be a card popping up in the corner of this video, or it's coming up next in this playlist, Having Fun with AI. So just stay tuned and you will be able to find the video, okay? Otherwise, just Google it. All right, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And if you liked and you found this helpful, maybe like the video, maybe subscribe to the channel, maybe say hi on Discord, or maybe none of that. That's also fine. Whatever you want to do. All right. Thank you very much and see you on the next video. Bye bye. Fantastic. Those agents are weird. Windows computer with Apple WebKit. You mean, are you talking about this? I think this is just a standard header that says what kind of versions of things this service can actually host. I don't think it means that it's actually running Apple WebKit. Anyway, okay, I need to record the introduction. What could be a cool introduction? A cool introduction could be showing that I have a local server and showing that if I type this, oh no! And if I type this, test.parametric.camp, it serves this and show that this is done through a tunneling solution that is piping this to my local service. Okay, I think that could be cool. Let's do that. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to another video where the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to create an app and host the app in your computer and then give access to that app through a URL of the type myapp.mywebsite.com? Have you ever wanted to do that? Well, this is the right video to learn how to start doing that. I'm going to show you a demo. I have this little web server right here that is serving a very, very simple website on port 8123. What that means is that if I go to localhost 8123, I am serving this really simple hello parametric camp test kind of website. All right. But what if I wanted to do and configure that there's going to be a global URL that anyone from the internet can reach that is test.parametric.camp and that is going to point to the exact same place, right? How cool is this? Well, the way we're going to do this is I'm going to teach you how to create a permanent tunnel from a URL that you manage using a service called tunnels and public host names with this company that is called Cloudflare. All right. Let me show you, and this is very useful because then you can connect any app that is living in your machine to anyone in the cloud or anywhere in the world. All right. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, beautiful. So we are good. And then now I want to make that video where, well, let me stop a bunch of things here. So let me stop Cloudflare service uninstall. Okay, so let me make sure that that's not there. Actually, no, I need that if I want to show it working. Okay. Well, let me configure that again. I'm going to have to... Well, actually, let me set the whole thing up first. First of all, I need to... Let's first get it working. So is Olama working? Olama run Rama PS Olama list. Okay. Olama run Llama 3.2 latest. Hello there. And it's running. Yep. Okay, so that's there. So that's working there. Then, okay, Conda environment list. I did create a web UI, so Conda activate web UI. And now open web UI serve. And it does the serving and blah, blah, blah. Open web UI, guest mode. So now it should be on localhost 8080. Yep. Oh, and I forgot that I don't have it. Okay, I think I may have localhost 8080. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then blah, 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 blah. And it's working. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to Zero Trust and to networks and to tunnels. I'm going to create a new tunnel. This one I'm going to actually, well, I'm going to have to redo it again anyway. So I'm going to configure the tunnel. I'm going to run this, installing the service. So now it's working. I'm going to create a public host name. I'm going to add chat and then parametric camp, and then that's going to go to here, and it's going to go to localhost. There you go. And I'm going to delete this. And then I'm actually going to create another one, which is going to be Olama, and it's going to be parametric camp and HTTP, and it's going to be localhost this much. And now I should be able to open a terminal on Ubuntu and then have a Olama Perl example. Okay. Generate a completion. For example, here curl, but here in the Ubuntu window, which doesn't seem to be working. Ubuntu, come on. Why are you not working? I don't want to do this in PowerShell, please. Please. Maybe if I do it in this PowerShell. Oh man, this sucks. What did we... Yeah, exactly, Victor. The escaping problem again. That's why I wanted to do it with... I hate you. And for some reason, Ubuntu is not starting. If I do a git bash, do I get curl? I do. Nice. All right. So what if I do... No. What if I do this, but then here I do stream false, and then I just get the one response. Or what I want to do, which is HTTP. No. Okay, whatever. Chat dot. Can you guys see this? Chat dot parametric dot camp slash API slash generate. Is this configured? Well, this is bad actually, because first of all, localhost, exactly. And here I should be able to now do chat dot parametric dot camp. Yes, and I land on the right place. If only I remembered my password. Let me reset my password. Okay. Okay, so yes. So now, so glx@gmail.com. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so this is working. And why is this one not working? Method not allowed. And this one does work. Weird. Chat. I know, because it's Olama. Yeah. Okay. Olama. Parametric camp. Really? Okay, that was surprising. I thought I would get a response. I get nothing. That's very strange. Okay, if I do this here, it's not gonna work, right? I hate you. Windows. And the modern version of PowerShell doesn't do this either. Could not resolve host is the... Okay, should we just not do this for this video? Localhost 11434, which has worked in this one, right? Do I have a typo of some kind? Parametric.camp API generate D stream false. I don't see the typo. Does CLI need assigning? No, I don't think so. Very weird. Huh. I tried this yesterday and it worked, but I did it in a different computer with an actual Ubuntu shell. Okay. I need to move on, so maybe for this video we're not doing this. Maybe. Oh, okay. So maybe we're not doing this for this video. All right. Okay. And we have this running here. We have this running here. And we have this running here. We have Open Web UI. We have maybe... Yes. All right. Let's not get into the mess of... Okay. So how are we going to... What is this video about? So I'm going to move that over there. I'm going to move this here. So maybe what I want to do is I want to open Chrome and type chat.parametric.camp and then open this and log in and then log in and show what? can you please greet our parametric campers up? And then we get that. Yes. and then I want to show that this was running on an actual server that I have running locally. Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start by demoing the video, and then I'm going to go into the 3 steps that you need. I'm just basically going to point to different videos in I'm just going to point to different videos where you can find how to do this. And actually, maybe should I show the videos? Parametric camp YouTube fun with AI. There you go. No, not this guy. Come on. All right. Not this. IT painkiller. Can I go to parametric camp? Not this guy. Who is that guy? Playlists. Fun with AI. Right. And I can show these videos actually. Yes. Okay, so let's get started. I'm actually going to start with the demo, and then I'm going to move on into... This video is going to be super short. It has to be super short. Okay. And we need to think of an image that this is going to require, okay? And what am I going to say? What am I teaching here? I'm teaching how to deploy, how to run your local LLM chat service. And if I go now, how to run your local LLM chat service. Okay. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to another video where I'm going to teach you the coolest thing that you can learn in 2025, which is how to run your local chat application that is powered by LLM all in your machine and accessible from anywhere in the cloud. What does that look like? Let me show you. I'm going to open a browser and I'm going to type chat.parametric.camp, which is the domain that I own. I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to be thrown into this ChatGPT-like web app. I'm going to choose some local model, a llama model, and I'm going to paste here, hey, can you please say hi to our parametric campers? And then this model is going to give me some response. Hey, how are you doing? Rhino, etc., etc. Now, the coolest thing about this is first, the LLM that has powered this response is not on OpenAI, it's not on Anthropic, it's actually running in a local service that is in my computer right now. So privacy is not a concern because everything stays in my own machine. No one has access to my prompts, my responses, or anything like that. And second, the other cool thing is that I can access this from anywhere in the world. I don't know if you noticed that I typed a URL, chat.parametric.camp. I could do that from anywhere in the world, my office, when I'm traveling and visiting my parents. I could have my own service running just for me. And you didn't see it in the video, but there's also a logging that I had to go through to make sure that no one just freely can access this. So if you're interested in LLMs, if you're interested in AI, and if you're interested in privacy, this is what you need to do for yourselves. And I'm going to show you real quick what you need to do. And you're going to be surprised of how easy it is in just four, or actually in just three different. Ah, ah, no, we're going to start over again. Start over again. This has to be one of these catchy viral videos. I want to get there. Okay, let's go back again. Starting over again, and I'm actually going to log out so that you people can see the actual authorization. The video was going great though. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to another video where I'm going to teach you the coolest thing you can deploy and run on your machine in 2025, which is your local chat application with a local LLM that is entirely on your machine and that is private only to you. So let me show you how that looks like. I'm going to type here on the browser chat.parametriccamp, which is a domain that I own. And I'm going to hit enter. And then after I log in with some random login that I created for this video, right? Now I am logged in into this web application. I can go all the way down and choose some kind of simple llama model and say, well, can you please greet our parametric campers in this video? And then you're going to get this prediction from an LLM. What I want to highlight though is first, this chat application that you are seeing here is not on OpenAI, it's not on Anthropic, it's not in any big corporation. It's actually running as a local service in the machine that I am in. So you can rest assured that no one can see this, that no one can access your data, that your prompts are not going to go into any training data set. Everything stays local in your machine. And second, you notice that the URL that I input here is a global URL. What that means is that even if I'm running this on my machine, I could access this service from anywhere in the world. This machine, my office, when I'm traveling and visiting my parents, it doesn't matter because I connected it, even if it's working on my machine, I connected it to the cloud using a tunnel. All right. So I'm going to teach you how to put this together so that you can not rely anymore on ChatGPT. You don't have to pay that subscription and you can be safe and private in your own machine. You're going to be surprised how cheap and how easy it is. It's only going to take 3 steps, and I actually have videos that explain each one of these 3 steps thoroughly. But I'm going to show it to you right now how easy it is. Okay. All right, so the first thing you need to do is you need to run okay. And I'm going to show videos of that. Okay. olama.com. And here I'm going to say Olama run latest and Llama 3.2 latest. Can you say okay. All right. Step number 1, you're going to install Olama. What is Olama? is an application that you can install on your machine, and it will do all the hard work of downloading, installing, and running LLMs on your machine. And interestingly, you don't really need that big of a computer to do this. If you have a big desktop computer with a GPU, you will be able to run more powerful models, that's for sure. But even if you have like a normal laptop with only a CPU, you'll be surprised how certain lightweight LLMs still run pretty good in these machines. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to install it, and I actually have instructions on how to install Ollama in this video. There's going to be a card popping up in the corner of this video, and you will know that this is working if you go to your terminal and then you type Ollama run through this model, can you please greet our parametric campers? And then you will see that now I have an LLM that is giving me predictions locally on my terminal. First of all, how cool is this, right? And second, I told you Ollama makes installing this super easy, cross-platform with Windows, Linux, Mac OS, whatever you're running, okay? So again, if you want to learn more, there was a video in the link before, and there will be a video in the link in the description of this video. Okay. And local host. Okay. All right. That's it, right? Well, I need to run the service first. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Step number 2, you're going to install OpenWebUI. What is that? OpenWebUI is basically this really cool project that what it does is it installs on your machine a service that runs on your browser that connects to your LLM, the one that you just installed with Ollama, and makes it accessible instead of through the command line interface through a web app that looks and feels very, very similar to ChatGPT. All right. Installing this is slightly more involved than Ollama. Ollama is pretty straightforward, but I also have another video where I go through the entire process of how to run and install web UI locally. Okay, so there's going to be a card popping in the corner so that you can go to this video and look at all the details. And there's going to be a description. There's going to be a link to that video also in the description of this video. But once you have installed everything, then it's just as simple as going to a terminal and say, hey, I want to serve OpenWebUI. And then there's a little bit of Python magic going on. Some service starts in the background. And then what you have after you do this is that you can go to your browser and go to your local service, localhost 8080, and then you can log in as I did before, and then you can access the dashboard and do all the predictions like I showed you before. Blah, 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 and I'm gonna get some gibberish. Yes. All right, great. But now we are here and we have both things connected, both the LLM in the background and some web app that allows me access to the LLM in the front end. But this service can only be accessed right now from my computer because I have localhost 8080. So how can I make this public to anyone internationally through the cloud on the public internet? Is it working right now? So if I go to chat.parametric camp. Is it working? Yes. All right. Step number 3, you create a tunnel. What is a tunnel? A tunnel is a way to connect some service that lives on a machine through a public URL, through a public host name to the entire internet. You could do that manually, messing with your router and forwarding ports, but this solution is actually much easier and it's also free. So what I've done is, using a service called Cloudflare, I have created a tunnel between this domain that I own, parametric.camp. I've created a subdomain called chat, and I'm pointing that subdomain to the local host service that is running my web UI. What that means is that now I can go to chat.parametric.camp, and the tunnel that I have set up with Cloudflare makes sure that from that URL, there is a service that is pointing to my local machine and that is running and that is accessing the web UI. And now I can type whatever, and I get the prediction through a cloud service that is tunneling this URL to my local machine. How cool is that? You can now send this to your parents, your family, like, hey, you don't have to use ChatGPT anymore. You can stay private using this LLM that I am hosting in my machine right now. Isn't that great? Installing a tunnel is also pretty straightforward. I have 2 videos. One, access to a local server. This is for development only and for temporary URLs. There will be another video here, like very soon, which will be how to create a permanent tunnel, all right? And there's going to be a link popping up in a card in the top corner. And there's also going to be a link to that video in the description of this video. Okay, I'm gonna start a new chat. I'm gonna remove all of this. I'm going to delete all of this. All right. And that was it. Seriously, it is as simple as that. If you are familiar with installing things and you're a little nerd, it's probably going to take you 30 minutes to put this all together. If you are not familiar with this, I have all these videos that break down everything step by step for you, even if you're not familiar with coding or with running services on your machine. Absolutely fine. But how awesome is it that I now have chat.myownwebsite.com and I can run a local LLM on my machine, and I use this web application to very easily use it without having to go into the command line. Isn't this awesome? I cannot recommend any more and any strongly more, that didn't make sense, that you try this out. It's gonna feel so satisfying, so nerdy, and it's gonna cost you $10, which is registering a new domain, or if you already have one, you can just transfer it and it's gonna be free for you. I recommend you give this a try. It's satisfying, it's nerdy, it's gonna make you feel great about using artificial intelligence privately and safely. And you're probably also going to learn a lot of things in the way. So if you want to try this out, go to the links that I have recommended. And if you're watching this as part of this playlist called Fun with AI, then the videos are gonna come up next in this session in this playlist, okay? That was very awesome. Thank you very much. And if you did find this useful, maybe consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, saying hi on Discord, and all these things that we do in modern YouTube times. Thank you very much. Bye bye. All right, that came out nice, actually. I'm very happy about this video. So we need a... I'm gonna take a screenshot of... First, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Okay, so... Nope, not that. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna take a better screenshot. I think that got cut out. I'm gonna start a new chat. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this chat like this. Maybe that is the background, and then maybe I have like a big chat dot parametriccam.com, and then what should be the video? What should be the video called? If we already have how to run an LM on your computer, how to create your own AI chat app, how to host. How to host your own AI chatbot? Oh, how to host your own private AI chatbot. That could be a good one. I'm gonna write it down before I forget. How to host your own private chatbot, AI chatbot. Maybe that's what, yes, that's gonna be a good one. All right. Ooh, I'm doing great on time. I have something else that I need to go to. Folks, this was great. It was so much fun. And we recorded 2 videos. That hasn't happened in a while. All right, so I think with this, I feel pretty good about this as a block, this experiment that we've done over the past live streams about running a local LLM, hosting it, tunneling. I've actually learned a little, not a little, I've actually learned quite some while doing all of this. I've also tried, so I have this other machine that is full Linux, full Ubuntu. So I've done most of what you've seen today also on that machine. I have to say the experience of running like an actual Linux shell and installing it is just so much nicer. Like I was seriously talking to some friends recently about a full migration to Linux with Ubuntu being a possible distribution. I don't know. And I was trying to figure out what are the limitations. So what things would I not have access to that I really wish? And the only strong one that could come up to me was Rhino and Grasshopper, which I use a lot. And there's no version of that for Linux, I think. Because then for 3D you have Blender, which I am really bad at, but it's actually quite good. And I wish I knew it more. And most people that I see also in the AI world, when they develop 3D stuff or whatever, they publish Blender plugins. And it's actually very nice. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that it's actually written in Python, but whatever. And but everything else. So Photoshop. I am a very, very superficial user of Photoshop. I only use it for cropping, resizing, and very basic stuff. So GIMP actually does a really good job at that, even though I find GIMP and the UI and where things are a little weird, honestly. But and then for Illustrator, which I use often as well, I hear Inkscape is actually pretty good. And I don't really do anything else, really. So anyway, I don't think I could be ready for like a full transition, especially for laptops and for teaching, right? But having that machine running Ubuntu, it has a dual boot. So because it came with Windows, I can still boot into Windows if I want. But for serious stuff, honestly, if the machine is powerful enough, you could virtualize Windows in a VM and run Rhino and the 2 or 3 other services that you may need here and then, and that's it. What is wine, Victor? I don't know that. Dual boots are kind of a pain in the ass because you have to be switching. I'm more of a VM person if the machine is powerful enough. Robert, no, I'm not. I'm not in Melbourne. Also, I think you can tell that I don't have an Aussie accent. I'm based in Boston, and I'm originally Spanish, so that's my weird accent. Why, unless you run Windows executables in Linux? I've read about that. I don't know. It sounds like a mess. I would just rather VM Windows and then just have it as there's Photoshop's free alternative to Photoshop, Photop, but it requires internet to use as free alternative to Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop is the least of my concerns, really. Anyway, just saying a bit advocacy. If you want to nerd out, I've been finding the Ubuntu experience quite pleasant. And when I'm coding things, also, I have to say though, because I don't have email configured in that machine, there's something about working in a machine where you don't have exposure to email that really boosts your productivity. So, food for thought. My friend Nono would be really happy about this kind of introspective moment about how we can do more better with less. All right, folks, I gotta go. I got other things to do and I want to kind of edit the videos and prep them before I leave. I'm going to a talk now. So this was great. Thanks a lot. And I was saying that we are closing up this kind of block of videos on local LLMs, web UI, tunneling, whatever, because it probably means that next live stream, we're going to switch gears and we're going to move on to something else. Maybe as a segue, we do polar coordinates, which we found out today that we don't have anything on the channel and it's kind of important. So maybe we could do polar and we could do spherical. I'm losing my English day by day. And we could do spherical. Spherical? Sphere. Spherical? Wait. Spherical.
Spherical.
Wait, why am I not hearing? Oh, hold on. Speakers.
Spherical.
Why am I not hearing anything? You guys are probably hearing it, and I am not. Speakers.
Spherical.
Spherical. All right. Spherical coordinates, folks. All right, not spherical. That's the Spanish in me. Spherical.
Spherical.
Yes, there you go. Is there existing a possibility that we can get your lecture at Harvard? No, I'm not giving a lecture. I am attending a friend's lecture. I can hold on. What is the lecture? So this guy who does digital landscape stuff. Where can I find the link? Give me 1 second. I may need to go to a private area of the Harvard intranet. I don't know if it's public or not. So it's this digital air, a landscape of atmospheric encounters. There is a Zoom link. Can I copy it? I'm gonna copy it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is legal or not, but I'm gonna copy the link. I'm trying to paste the link here in the chat. I'm not being successful at doing it. There's something about this link being weird. No. Copy link. Ah, there you go. Here, folks. There you go. Can you see the Zoom call on the chat? Otherwise, I'm gonna post it on Discord, on the live server, on the live channel, and it starts in 45 minutes. Very interesting work, Craig. Yeah, if you like landscape, and I mean, his work is really cool. Just watch it. You're gonna find it amazing. Okay, I have a lot of stuff. I need to. Yeah, you see it. Yes. If you could do a quaternions tutorial, honestly, Victor, I don't know that I can explain quaternions. I know that I can use them, and I know the equations, and I know how to go back and forth between them, between quaternions and other forms of rotational representations. But to actually explain them and why they work the way they work, it kind of escapes me. And I don't know that I could do a good job. Uh, that was one of the toughest things when I was. Wait, what? Why is this not? Oh, something is wrong with. Oh, wait. I just found. Sorry. I got distracted. The tunnel that I have running in my other machine is not working. Which is weird. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I got distracted. I need to go to my other computer and figure out what's going on there. Okay, folks, this was great. Thank you very much. I will see you next week on Friday. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I hope it's gonna be cool. And I think it's probably about time we take on like a larger project. You know, one of those like larger playlists that we had on the back burner. I don't know if that's gonna be I don't know, Rhino Insight or Git or whatever. I don't know, but I need to think. I need to marinate it. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, thanks everyone. It was a pleasure. Have a good weekend and stay healthy, stay nerdy, do a lot of art with code and with math. And I will see you next week. Bye bye.